Hello and welcome to my second episode of my tutorial series to mod FIFA 21. In this episode, I am going to cover how to install and run my tool, Paulv2k4 Modding Tool, also known as Frostbite Modding UI. In the last episode, I covered how to download it. In this episode, this is how to install it. I say install with quotations around it. You essentially extract the downloaded zip file and export it to a folder of your choice, like so. Frostbite Modding UI. This is the exe or application you need to run. Double click. You will likely get a pop-up from Windows asking you for leverage or administrative privileges. This is so the system can run with full access to your hard drives, so it can handle the files any way it sees fit, and there are additional things it needs to do, like load DLLs from itself. Like, for example, if you were modding FIFA 21, there'd be a FIFA 21 SDK and a FIFA 21 plugin. If you are modding Madden 21, there's a Madden 21 SDK and a Madden 21 plugin. So this is how this tool works. Whenever you click one of these buttons, it will load either plugin and either SDK. Today we are working on FIFA 21. When it launches the window, it will ask you to find your exe. Click Find Your Game exe. You will, if you're not sure where your game is, it will likely be in C, Program Files x86, Origin Games, FIFA 21. If you're like me and put it on a separate drive, it would be something like D Origin Games FIFA 21. You will see two icons at the bottom there. Click the one without the underscore trial. Click Open. Now, if you are running a different version of the tool, or a different version of the game that corresponds to the tool, this will create a cache file. Don't worry, it will do it, and it will take about 5 to 10 minutes. Otherwise, you'll be loaded instantly to the screen. This tool has several features that are different to what the way FIFA 20's Frosty tool used to work. So you get several tabs. For example, you get data, textures, kits, gameplay, legacy. So those are where this tool can compile mods for FIFA in two separate ways. One is the standard way, which is called a Frostbite mod, or FB mod for short, as shown on this here. That is a very easy and standard way to mod FIFA. This tool has an additional method as well, called legacy mod injection. Now that sounds complicated, and it kind of is, but it is a nice little feature that you might prefer. So let's go over the two of them. Frostbite mods can be edited in data, textures, kits, and gameplay, and partially of legacy, but I'll go into that later. So if you wanted to create a simple mod, for example, if you wanted to, let's see, create a camera change, like a lot of people do ask for camera changes, you could scroll through the tree system, broadcasting's cameras. For some reason it's in a tribsist, broadcasting, and there's loads of settings there. I am not even aware of all of them. So you can kind of go into here, you can see all the different cameras here. So in camera settings, co-op, you can change how much it moves, the speed of the camera when it moves back and forth with the ball, how much the zoom is incremented every time you change the sliders in the options, how much it starts on, how much it ends on. Loads of settings in here for you to play around with. You just make a change like that and then click launch game. That's it, you've created a mod. It is that simple. If you want to save your changes and don't want to lose them, you want to come back to them, click save project and save your project wherever you feel like. I've got its own little structure here. So I say camera mod, like that. Give it a second. It's now saved your project. So if you want to come back to this project at a different time and you close the project down, you shut off your PC and gone and done something else, you come back to it, you reopen the editor and you click open project, camera mod, open. And what that will do essentially is alter this file for you, and you've got back your change. So I put a 1 there instead of a 0. It is that simple for the world of Frostbite mods. So this includes changing kits. So if you type in Arsenal, go through the structure, and then go to home. I scroll down to jersey 1 color. There you go, there's the Arsenal kit. So if you come along and imported a kit now, it would overwrite this one, and your project's been saved by doing the save project button again. And all your projects have been saved, everything's been saved as you go along. If you want to share this mod, you write save Frostbite mod, call it something like camera mod, save. It's saved to that file, and you just share that file with everybody else, and that's it. That is that simple. If you want to give this mod a description, go here, Paul's wonderful camera mod. Well, yeah, this is awesome. Version 1. Just save away. Job done. And then you write it again. So that ensures that those mod details are saved to the FB mod, and you can save your project if you like as well, just to be ultimately sure. So that covers a simple mod to the world of Frostbite. Now, now I'm going to introduce the legacy mod injection system. I need to come up with a better name for that. So originally, back in from FIFA 17 to FIFA 20, we essentially lost the ability to edit legacy files, which used to be loose in the FIFA file system. So, for example, back in FIFA 16 and previous, we would have an extra folder here, and we could just add any other legacy file. For example, if we just had look in legacy, and you've got this one here, voice command, we could add the word data, which is there, and we could just extract this to here, and it would just be read from the system. So we lost that in Frostbite. Unfortunately, it's made it a headache for a lot more people, not just FIFA modders. So Essentially, the legacy mod system is trying to replicate what we had before by fooling the game to load files from the file system rather than internally, which is where this is coming from. So you would export this, for example, give it some time, I don't know why it took so long then, and you would put it in your own little folder. I would suggest creating a folder way away from FIFA. Create a sort of structure that replicates the structure shown here. So in source, create a folder called data, and put voice command as such in this one to there. You can then compile this into a what is we called an legacy mod. What you do to do this is select the folder source, which contains all the folders you've changed, all the files you've changed within this. So select that, select folder, it's complete. Call this awesome mod 2. And that's done. It's now created awesome mod lmod. There you go. Essentially, this is a compiled and encrypted version of this structure. Just like FBmod is. The subtle difference is this is now live loaded into the game, which is slightly different to this, where it's compiled and edited files and then the game runs. So if you wanted to make a live change to FIFA, you could jump into FIFA itself, go into Legacy, find that folder, and you could make a change. So for example, if you wanted to fine-tune player values in career mode, you could create a player values.ini here, so extract it from here, like this. You could possibly, if you want to just do this instead, just extract it to exactly the same folder structure. So legacy mods, legacy, and then follow the folder structure as found in here. And then create player mods ini, not in finance. There you go. See how that's there? So you could go ahead and change these values while FIFA's still loaded. You just alt tab out, and then every time you enter career mode, it will reload this file with your little changes, and that's really helpful if you want to make little minuscule little changes and just test them quickly. So this is where it becomes really helpful, really useful, and once you're finished, you could copy this out again and put it into the compilable folder we created earlier. So you could create, follow the structure again, place this here, and go, right, I'm happy with those settings. Compile. And you go back to your folder you just created. So you compile the source folder, compile complete. Career mod, saved, job done. And then you can just share that lmod with the world, with your little tweaked files and quick changes. So that's one of the nice little systems, this included in this tool. I will dig into this further in my career development and mod creation. I hope this will be useful for some people. It's very useful for me. As you can see, my career mod runs off this. I think I will end it here for this particular tutorial. I will go into actually making changes in my subsequent series going forward. So thank you very much, and see you soon.